Yep. And for them to see it and to go.
And the thing is, they only kind of they see the end piece. It's always Ready, let's go.
Schau, mach du. Und jetzt mach so. Schlag, Schlag. Ja, schau. Das ist Magie.
Voll cool, gell? Kannst du trinken und behalten. Alex, du auch.
No, 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 no. Jojo, relax. One. I'm going to tell you. Ha! Unsuccessful. Try again. Try to. Hey, hang on. I need a different. Hang on, Max. Hang on. Yeah, no, I need somewhere different to stand. Hang on. We're attacking a castle.
Attack on castle.
Okay, you know what? Actually, that needs to come closer.
No.
It's just too far. It's just, no. Hang on.
Attack on castles. Attack on castles. Try 3. Oh my God.
Where is it?
Wollt ihr noch mal einen Tee? Ja.
Ich mag diesen.
Den da?
Ja. Ich mag mal den.
Den könnt ihr schon trinken.
And they used to ride. It was a feather. Oh yeah, you can just ride it like a feather. In the old days, they ride with a feather. Can anybody hear? I can hear. There's nothing after here. What else can hear? I can hear.
Things they tried out, and apples too. They tried out apples. If someone was sick, that was actually the first medicine. Okay. This is the lungwort, and you can see you can't really see the leaves on this, so I bought something similar. It's not lungwort, but the leaves look like lungs. Do you know what lungs are? And that's why they said it or like made cream. I'm not sure. This. You can smell it.
What's in this box?
Oh, that's where you keep it.
Oh, it has its own box?
Yes.
Wow.
Someone told me it's to keep the devils away,
Okay.
but I don't know if that's true. So my topic is curing common disease, and I chose it because I was always interested in medicine, especially herbal medicine, which is a major part of my presentation. I found my information most books and the internet, especially in the book Medieval Europe, and then also Medicine in the Middle Ages, which is a website. This is my map, and it shows where the different religions were spread. So the red part is the Holy Roman, so Christian Empire. The yellow part is the Byzantine Empire, and the green is the Islamic Empire. This is my timeline, and it answers the question, how did medical ideas change over time, and the people that were important. So I've got the most important people were Hildegard of Bingen, which is the author of 2 books, Compound Medicine and Simple Medicine. Compound is the already made medicine, and simple is only the herbs and the plants that the medicine is made of. Also Hakim ibn Sina, which is a Muslim, and he wrote a book which is called the Canon of Medicine, and this book was used for over 500 years after he wrote it. This is my artifact, and it's a mortar which was used to crush herbs, and it shows 2 half-naked people standing in plants that could have the medical use, and it's probably the scene Adam and Eve in the Bible. These are some herbs and plants, and they have medicinal use. So, for example, the lungwort, and the leaves have a similar shape to a lung. That's why it was used to treat lung diseases. Roses, which was used as a tea against headache and sicknesses in the uterus, and also lemon balm, which was seen as a magic elixir to treat every single sickness. And then some spices are saffron, which is this, and it's made out of this plant and these, and it's very, very expensive, and therefore it was really hard to get. And it was used against cancer. And to conclude, I think it's very interesting about how the medication was, and especially how Christian and Islamic medicine were different. As Islamic people, they gave good healthcare to everyone, so they had a journey around all the Islamic Empire, which they gave medicine to everyone, even if they should die because they did something really wrong. While in the Christian Empire, the doctors just provided health for the rich people, which was a reason why they made herb medicine, because it was something that could be grown by everyone.
So my topic is spices and the Silk Road. It is, how you can see here, this is the Silk Road, the green and the black, and it's very long, 11,000 kilometers long. Here I have some spices, what they traded on the Silk Road. Spices were very common by rich people, and they were very addicted to it. They had beers and wines where they put spices in, and also on spiced food, they put again spices on it. The rich people couldn't have enough of these spices. Then there were also herbs what the poor people used as a medicine. And the spices were also there as a sign of wealth, and it was a very good present if you wanted to give to somebody. Then this one is also now very, this costs €5, only this much. It's called saffron, and these are others. This is ginger, cinnamon, caraway, cumin, clove, black pepper, and this is vanilla sugar.
Okay, so I compared the rich and the poor food, and my map shows where the different foods were discovered, like the spices and everything were from India, and so only rich people could afford it because it was imported from so far away. And here I tried to show what the rich people ate. And for example, they had like white bread and almonds, and they didn't eat any vegetables because they thought food from the ground was for the poor, and so their diet was a lot unhealthier as well. And here the poor, they ate only vegetables and dark bread because they couldn't afford any spices or something like that. And like an average person drank almost 1 gallon of alcohol a day because water was so unclean that they avoided it.
My topic is the Battle of Hastings. I chose this topic because I liked the idea of analyzing the battle like I did on my WoW project, and I also read about it in a book and it fascinated me. So the Battle of Hastings started on 14th October in 1066 on this hill. It's called Sandbank Hill, approximately 7 miles from Hastings and 60 miles south of London. In a village called Battle. But they called it the Battle of Hastings because the Battle of Battle just didn't sound good. So my first question is obviously, what is the Battle of Hastings? Well, the Battle of Hastings was a very bloody massacre. So no housecarl, that are these middle soldiers, they wielded axes, was left alive by nightfall. So because of that, it was one of the bloodiest English battles in history, and the end was the death of the last Anglo-Saxon king, who was called Harold Godwinson II, by an arrow in the eye. So my second question is, who led the armies? So the Anglo-Saxon defenders who defended their country, marked in blue, were led by King Harold Godwinson II, who was the last Anglo-Saxon king and was chosen on the former king's, Edward the Confessor's, deathbed. His opponent, marked in red, was William the Conqueror, Duke of Normandy, who claimed to have been promised the throne earlier by Edward the Confessor. He used this as an excuse to attack. He also was taxed with genius, which brings me to my last question: why did the Normans win? Well, there are several reasons for the Norman victory. The first one would be that the Saxons had to fight a Viking king called Harald Hardrada in the north near York. This tired them greatly, and they also suffered heavy losses. Another reason, based on the first reason, was the reason that the Normans had Norman about double as much, as you can also see indicated by my flags. And they also had better equipment like a cavalry and an archery. And they also had better tactics, so they attacked. And as that didn't work, they turned around and pretended to flee. Then the inexperienced third, who were actually just farmers, chased them. And then the Normans turned around and got help from behind, and then they were able to cut down all the Saxons. That was my presentation. Do you have any questions?
Scientists and doctors in Islam. For example, the Empress Zoe, she had a palace and she turned it into a laboratory for medicine. And all of these doctors were actually the best in the Middle Ages because they had laboratories like this, and because of this they had the best knowledge about the human body. This is my artifact. It is a golden glass bowl.
Is it real gold?
Yes, I think so. With honeycomb pattern, and it was found in Persia. And that's a country where Islam is a common religion, so it was probably used by Islamic people. And what surprised me the most about all of my topic is how powerful Islam was in the Middle Ages. This is my WoW project. It shows the Prophet Muhammad. He's the founder of Islam, and he's being
being visited by an angel, and this angel tells him that there's only one God in the whole world, and this God is called Allah, and that he should tell other people about it. And when the angel comes, there's like enlightenment, so there's a little light bulb in there. That's why I called it the birth of Islam, because that's when everything started.
So, after my presentation, you will have found out that it is better to live today than in the Middle Ages. So, firstly, there were 4 major diseases. 1, the Black Death, which caused terrible black swellings. 2, leprosy, where parts of the body fell off because the bloodstream didn't work. And 3, the Great Pox, which lasted for over 400 years. There was another sickness that you might not know about so much yet. It's called the sweating sickness. If you had the sweating sickness, you could die 4 hours after the infection. Well, who tried to cure these diseases? First of all, there were the physicians, but only rich people could afford them because they were educated for 10 years. There were also barber surgeons. They were called like that because barbers actually pull teeth, but since there were so many victims of war, they decided to also do surgery. Most of them couldn't even read. Then there were also the wise women. They were contacted by people who didn't have money at all. And they had their knowledge from ancestors, and it was based on religion. Now, with which ingredients would you make the best medicine? First there was margarine. You heated it up in a cauldron, and then you laid it on your bruises, and this was very effective against the Black Death and leprosy. Then there was lemon balm. It was a magic elixir and it caused sweating. This was effective against a cold. Lastly, there was lungwort. It had the shape of lungs, and this is why it was used to cure lung diseases. Although this was actually very stupid because it didn't really help. This is my timeline. I found 2 very important dates, and this was 1096 because then the Crusaders brought Islamic medicine from the Holy Land, and 1400 because the Christians were allowed to dissect dead bodies to get more knowledge of the human body. This is my artifact. It's a mortar and pestle. I have a little object here that is also a mortar and pestle, but it's not so old as my real artifact. I just have it here to make a model to show how it links to my topic. People stamped the herbs to get some liquid out of them, or they made them smaller to mix them with other herbs in a cauldron to make good medicine. Well, this is my map. The red shows the Black Death, green dots show leprosy, and this is a map of Europe. So it was actually pretty large, the space. To conclude, I would say that the Middle Ages were rather dark ages because there were so many diseases that couldn't be cured. However, now the foundation is laid to better understand the human body, so that now we can make effective medicines to cure common diseases.